What's going on, guys? JB Woodworking here. Got a fun video for you today. I hope you'll enjoy. I have a good friend of mine who him and his wife recently had a baby, and I wanted to make him something as kind of a welcome to being a dad type of a gift. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to make, but I had a pretty cool idea. So my friend is into Dungeons and Dragons and runs like campaigns and type of games. And a few years ago, I did participate in one of these games. It was a lot of fun, and I kind of wanted to make something to have as a symbol of that game. Now, I did have some pretty cool ideas about engraving the names into this staff or cane, whatever it is I'm going to make, using a Dremel, and it didn't really work out at all. Thankfully, another good friend of mine purchased a laser engraver system and spent some time with him working with Photoshop and created something really cool for this project. Something I really think my friend is going to truly appreciate. Now, I started out with a piece of cottonwood. It was 4x4 by 36, and I went ahead and rounded that out. Didn't think that was really necessary to record, and we're about to get started. Yeah, so here I'm embedding some walnut and bloodwood plugs that I cut into the top of this staff weapon of sorts. At this point, I didn't really know how this was going to look, but after I got them installed and dried and turned them, they really turned out really nice. I went ahead and used my indexing feature on my lathe to draw those lines, get everything perfectly lined up, and then I just drew a line around it to make everything look perfect. So I thought the staff seemed a little plain. I decided to add some walnut sections to this just to kind of divide it up, add a little more color, and thought it would shine up and look pretty nice on this. And at the end, it did really turn out really well. So in the section here, you're going to see I'm going to draw some lines using my indexing feature on the lathe. And this is where I had planned. I had some printouts of the names of the characters. I was going to tape down in the individual sections and then use either a Dremel or a wood burning tool to to engrave the names. It turned out horrible. Thankfully, the staff was still kind of big enough. I ended up turning everything that I had tried to Dremel into this. I turned it off completely and started from scratch because it was just horrible. I didn't even record any of the video for that section because it was that bad. So this is where everything changed after a friend of mine told me that he purchased a laser engraver. I had to figure out how to get this section out of the staff and then put it back together. So I thought I would do some walnut inlays in these sections, go ahead and carve out the section that I needed to do the laser engraving on, and then put it back into the staff after that was done. So you'll see how that's done here. So for the engraving itself, my friend who purchased the laser engraver spent several hours with me in Photoshop helping me design what this was going to look like. Each of the names that you see here is a character from the game that we played, and the symbols are related to the class of character and then a possible weapon that the class of character might have used. Now it's kind of funny, you'll see one of the names here for the ranger in the game is the Forgotten Ranger, because nobody could actually remember what that character's name was, not even the person that played that character. So I thought Forgotten Ranger was a good way to kind of commemorate that. The person that this was for didn't really have a character, so we added him as the Dungeon Master. I thought this part turned out really awesome, and please remember, if you're doing any type of laser engraving, make sure you wear the proper eye protection so you literally don't destroy your eyes. So after gluing this back together, it was a little out of balance. I ended up burning some of the connecting points just to kind of hide the fact that it wasn't quite perfect. This is where a steady rest would have really come in handy, but in the end, it turned out just fine. So for the finish on this, I went ahead and sanded everything up to 600 grit and used my normal tried and true finish. And it really actually darkened the lettering up from the engraving a little bit, which turned out nice. I'm glad it did that. After this dried, I did go back and add some wax to the whole thing and buff it out just to give it a nice shine. I really like the way this turned out. I love the darker walnut color next to the cottonwood, and the embedding of the walnut and bloodwood dots near the top really adds a lot to it. So here we can see the names of the characters. Hathor Antioch, that was my character. Dane the Great was actually my dog in the game. He was a Great Dane. Pretty original, I know. Mark Shadow. World of Airworth was the name of the world that was created. Pilkington, we had the Dungeon Master, who is my friend that will be getting this staff. Zas Stevenson, he was a bard, and he is the person that owns the laser and helped me with the Photoshop portion of this project. And then, of course, we have the Forgotten Ranger. I still can't believe nobody can remember the name of his actual character name. Now, the big question for this is, when do I give this to my friend? I considered not telling him about it at all and seeing if he actually watches my YouTube video and realizes that it's for him. I thought that might be kind of funny, so we'll see what happens. But that's it for me, folks. I really appreciate you watching the video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm really hoping to have more videos on a regular basis, especially once the weather starts to warm up again outside. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.